it's so important for people to recognize that our body is the temple that wasn't built by hands. It was built by God's hands. And the Holy Spirit, like what we take into our bodies is so important for our relationship with the Holy Spirit. And Jesus, in both of his warnings and when he said it'll be as in the days of Noah, and also when he said it'll be as in the days of Lot, both times he said that people will be eating and drinking. And what we eat and drink affects our relationship with the Holy Spirit more than we can say. I realized when I was pregnant that if I wanted a life to grow inside of my womb, the way I ate and drank mattered. And if I want the life of God to grow in my heart, what I eat and drink matter. It matters so much. If we want life to grow inside of us, we have to care for our bodies. And if we're putting crap in our bodies, it affects our brain, and our brain is how we connect with truth, and it affects our heart. And you can see it in just like the physical makeup of things, like people's arteries get clogged. And the same thing, if we're not clean, if we're not having healthy bodies, our spiritual arteries get clogged and we harden, and it affects our relationship with God. And Jesus had to fast 40 days and 40 nights to conquer the appetite before he had the law written in his heart, which is telling to us that we also need to conquer our appetites in order to have the law written in our heart. And we can't get the law written in our heart and we can't conquer our appetite without the Holy Spirit. It's not something we can do in our own strength. We have to have the Spirit of God. It is part of developing temperance and self-control. And I think it's one of the biggest things we need to understand to fight the battle.
No.
Real quick to that. Real quick to point out how critical that is that's just as bad for men, but it's just as critical for women, even more. The reason I say this is because unlike men, women are born with all their eggs in their bodies already. So from birth, they have every single egg that could potentially be a life, from the beginning. So if you're a woman who lives the party life, you smoke, you consume alcohol, all this stuff is being absorbed in your body, and your eggs are taking it too. So the more years that you put that in there, the more it affects the generations to come. So it is critical for women, especially of childbearing age, to eat health, to take care of their bodies, to do these things through the help of the Holy Spirit. Absolutely, to get away from narcotics, from hard drugs, and all these things, because they will affect the next generation, to come. So that's something that's important.
And that was me. I partied before I had kids. And we have to remember too that like throughout the Bible, they ate meat, but they didn't eat meat from factory farms. And we have to remember that God designed us to have, to get normal hours of sleep before electricity. People didn't stay up all night long. They didn't have the luxury. We need to get fresh air, water, exercise. Exercise is all about circulation. Everything is about circulation. We need a relationship with the Lord. But the thing is animals need all these things too. And the animals in factory farms aren't getting exercise. They aren't getting fresh air. They aren't getting the food that that God designed them to eat. We are so separated from our food. We have no idea the condition of the animals that we are eating. Do they have cancer? Do they have a disease? Do they have anything else we don't know? And you're ingesting that. And we look at how high the cancer rate is in humans. Like God says things in the Bible that maybe seem harsh from our childlike brains when we don't trust God because we don't understand him. But everything that God says, he is saying for our benefit. He's saying to protect us from the harms that are in the world. So if we learn to just trust God and know that he knows more than us, and that if we do it, you will find benefits that you can't comprehend, then it becomes a lot easier to do it. And you can't experience the benefit until you do it. That's how faith works. That's how the relationship with God works. You don't get the benefit, like, I'm not going to get the benefit of not smoking while I have a cigarette in my mouth. You can't violate the laws of health and still enjoy the benefits of health. It's not how it works.
Wow.
So,
wow. Powerful, guys. That is one of the, what you brought up, Kim and Keith, is so important. And I'm glad you brought it up because that, again, it's one of the biggest things. And not only in the past, but now in these final moments of Earth's history, if you're to be part of those that are completely spirit filled in sharing truth and to first know the truth and understand it, to digest it, to believe it, and to then share it, you need to have a healthy lifestyle. And it's hard, but that's why we take one step at a time on our knees and praying for strength. And, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's doable, and God will get you there. And so, but yeah, it's the right arm, right? I keep hearing it's the right arm of the three angels' messages, right? It's and you know, if you're right-handed, you use it all the time. But yeah, it's vital. You don't even realize it until, like, if you were to lose your right hand, then you realize, wow, that is a big difference. So people, we do need to live healthy, not because we are forced to, coerced, or I have to, but because we want to, because we not only love God, but we should really love ourselves in a healthy manner, not a selfish manner, but in a healthy manner. Love ourselves, love our bodies and minds that God has blessed us with, and also to love others, because how can we serve others if we're diseased and unhealthy to the point where people have to take care of us and we become basically like a,
mhm.
yeah, another body to be taken care of.